You know, it's the most famous episode of WKRP, probably one of the most famous comedy episodes of the late 1970s. But when Turkeys Away first appeared on TV October 30th, 1978, we had no indication we'd be still talking about it 45 years later as possibly a top five TV episode of all time. Now, the seventh episode of the first season of the sitcom was co-written by story editor Bill Dial and series creator Hugh Wilson. In the episode, station manager Arthur Carlson attempts to pull off the greatest Thanksgiving ever by dropping live turkeys from a helicopter. Now, turkeys can fly, but how it's set up there, we don't know the punchline. They don't know the punchline of the workers at WKRP until it happens. Now, based on an actual promotion for a radio station that tossed live turkeys off the back of a truck, Turkeys Away has been praised by fans and critics and is widely considered to be the most famous episode of the series, which is he's frequently played during Thanksgiving. One of the best episodes in TV history. Doesn't solve my flu, of course. Station manager Arthur Carlson attempts to get more involved in the day-to-day operation of WKRP, coming up with a Thanksgiving publicity stunt that he keeps secret from the entire staff, save for sales manager Herb Tarlick. Now, this episode was shown doing mostly post-Canadian Thanksgiving and pre-Canadian American Thanksgiving in the States. Now, there's a special turkey giveaway, dropping the live birds from a helicopter outside a busy shopping center with the banner that reads Happy Thanksgiving, and reads it WKRP, where Johnny Fever in the booth reacts to very strongly. On the scene, reporter Les Nessman delivers a dramatic play-by-play of the inconceive event at the Pinedale Shopping Mall, live in the air as Carlson and Tarlick plunge the turkeys to the deaths off the helicopter like sacks of wet cement when they hit the ground. The crowd begins to run for their lives as the turkeys violently crash into the ground. At one point, Nessman evokes Herbert Morrison in Mitchell's description of the 37 Hindenburg disaster. One just went through the windshield of a parked car. This is terrible. Oh, the humanity. Taking a joke out of the Hindenburg is a lot to do. Now, disc jockey Dr. Johnny Fever, Andy Travis, Venus Flytrap, and Bailey Quarters recoil in horror as Nessman recounts the gory details until his transmission is cut. Fever concludes the segment by famously quipping, "For those of you who just tuned in, the Pinedale Shopping Mall has just been bombed by live turkeys." Film at 11. Following the incident, the station is bombarded with phone calls from the Humane Society and Cincinnati mayor. Travis attempts to assuage the mayor's concerns by saying no humans were hurt during the incident. Now, both Carlson and Tarlick return to the station in a disheveled state from the disastrous promotion. Carlson is incredulous that his idea went so awry. A distressed Nessman also returns, recounting how he jammed himself into a phone book. After some members of the crowd began to descend on him, he also revealed that the turkeys, probably a science fiction movie waiting to be done, have assembled to make a counterattack. The episode ends with Carlson telling his staff the famous line, "As God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly." Again, the plot is based on a true story. Now, GM Hugh Wilson said he adapted Carlson's character from Jerry Bloom, a GM at radio station WQXI in Atlanta from 1989, recounted that the episode was inspired by a similar live turkey giveaway promotion by Bloom, who tossed turkeys out of a pickup truck at a Dallas shopping center parking lot. According to the Atlantic Journal-Constitution, Bloom said in 1996 that following disaster promotion, he quipped, "I didn't know turkeys couldn't fly." Almost word for word what Carlson says at the end of the episode. And again, turkeys can't fly. They can't just fly thrown out of a helicopter. Now, the public went nuts fighting with the turkeys, and it was a mess, Bloom said. That was about the whole story. To my knowledge, the turkey drop was never repeated. Other aerial turkey drops have been documented in Yellville, Arkansas, where the local Chamber of Commerce has over the years sponsored the turkey trot festivals and featured turkeys being dropped from a low-flying airplane. So why is Turkeys Away so positive towards people? Well, in Canada, WKRP was a top 5 show for all the years it was on, and it was a water cooler thing. And high school students, I know we loved it, recounted in the latest episode. Now, Turkeys Away is again widely considered the most famous and revered episode of WKRP, appearing in many lists of the greatest TV episodes of all time. The EV Club's Brandon Nowalk said Richard Sanders' description of the turkey drop, creative and gruesome and downright hilarious, adding, the whole gag happens off screen, including the turkeys apparently organizing a counterattack. But vivid lines like that and Sanders' shell-shock delivery, not to mention the way he's hugging the wall, have made it come alive. Now, TV Guide ranked it as the number 40 on its 100 greatest episodes of all time in 2009 and moved it to 65. I think it's a great top 20 episode of all time because it has everything you want. Comedy, humor, drama, an ensemble approach. Now, when Community first came on years later, you saw a lot of parallels between Community and WKRP, and that's why it was so big in Canada, because the Community cast reminded a lot of people of the WKRP cast. The cast, WKRP was very diverse. You had Jennifer Marlowe, Bailey Quarters, 2 different versions of feminism. You had the black, what they call early hip-hop artist in Venus Flytrap, the old hippie, the renegade music guy, programmer, the typical ad person, the typical news person, and Arthur Carlson that made it all work together. Even Bucky was a big part of that, especially in the softball episode. But watching this for the first time, you said to yourself, they're not going to go this crazy, and they go that crazy. Like, who the heck would think that turkeys thrown from an airplane or a helicopter would work? But the way Carlson says it, in the first few minutes of the episodes, and this was the same season as Scum of the Earth and the WPIG incident as well. I think with the the drinking game, I think it's first season. Anyway, that's the episode that stand out. Even when WKRP was shitty, and there were some shitty episodes, but like, for example, when Herb was chasing Jennifer and Jennifer called him on the bluff, when Jennifer fell in love, when everybody thought Jennifer was not going to have anything for Christmas, the Riptide 2-parter, when Johnny leaves and comes back, the payola episode, the Adam episode, there's a lot going on. But MTM, you look at Newhart, you look at Mary Tyler Moore, and you look at WKRP, the writing staffs that he had for all 3 series, we used to call it MTM humor. Like the pilot of Newhart, where basically Newhart was saying these women were actually prostitutes, and this was a place of ill repute. And Larry, Daryl, and Daryl, the Chuckles episode of MTM, all that. But ladies and gentlemen, if you want I'm sick today, I apologize for having the flu. If you're really sick, turn on some episodes of WKRP, and I'm asking the older generation that listens to this podcast, get the kids involved, put a WKRP episode on, and just watch with them. And after a while, they'll probably say, what's a radio station? Or especially an AM radio station. But I know one thing, ladies and gentlemen, we talked about that episode for years. And there's 3 things about Thanksgiving that's always in people's minds. It's football, Canadian American, getting a turkey, and a Turkeys Away episode. Always works together. And from now until the end of time, like wherever we pass on, when you think of Thanksgiving as Arthur Carlson, as God by witness, Andy, I thought turkeys could fly. Anyway, it is what it is. And we miss all the late members of the cast. We loved them, just like our own family. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you're doing with the WKRP episodes, let us know with a like, comment, subscribe, or share, or super chat. You keep listening, and we'll keep putting out the WKRP in a good way. Thanks for listening. Bye.